to rely on emotion. The jury isn't supposed to do that. They did say that you're supposed to base it off emotion. Why are they live streaming if they're deliberating? This is what they normally do. This is what happens during trials. Normally, the stream will just be up, and people do this thing called verdict watch, where we'll hang out, we guess how long it's going to be, and watch videos. Some people do games and stuff like that. And so we're just kind of here. I used to not do verdict watch because, like, I'm just sitting here. Man, I don't know when you sent those gifts, but thank you for gifting the membership. It says you gifted 20. Let me see. I don't know when that was, but thank you so much. I haven't seen you in the chat. Coach Girl, thank you for the membership. Sassy Mama, thank you for the membership. Nancy Cruz, thank you for the 23 months. I would think this would be over by now. No! Nancy, by the way, the tier 1 is going away February 29th. A heads up. I question how Adam Montgomery could hit Harmony in the front seat. How long is his arms? Obviously, this thing is not as open and shut as we thought, I guess. Oh, wait, am I streaming already? Oh, shit, I'm streaming. Okay, I'm going to see you guys on the Economic CC. Be right back. I'm over here, like, hanging out and talking. Okay, let's do this. All right. Nancy.
ABC's hit crime drama Will Trent returns with an all-new season.
Feel safe when you're
possible. It's Dexcom. With the new Dexcom. In the last hours,
no verdict yet.
The body of a beautiful little girl, Audrii, just 11 years old, has been pulled out from under a bridge in a Texas river. Heads are gonna roll. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Crime Stories and on Sirius XM 111. First of all, take a listen to this.
At this time, I sadly announce that Audrii's body was located at the Trinity River on the U.S. Highway 59. As a result of today's developments, I will discontinue the Amber Alert for Audrii, and I want to thank DPS, Department of Public Safety, for all their help in this alert. The information that we have gathered in this criminal investigation is substantial. My heart aches with this news, and I express with my deepest sympathies and condolences to everyone who knew, who cared for, and loved Audrii. The Sheriff's Office, we will continue to process the evidence that has been gathered to ensure that the justice for Audrii.
And you can hear the Polk County Sheriff Byron Lyons' voice cracking after he and his whole team, volunteers, you name it, tried to find Audrii alive. That did not happen.
It was of interest. Due to the lowering, we were able to contact TRA, Trinity River Authority. They slowed down the outflow from the reservoir, and it allowed the water to go down, and her body was discovered there in the water. But I'm not going to say whether it was Harris County or Montgomery County or EchoSearch. It was a conglomeration of a lot of love and law enforcement networking together that helped discover her.
I've done a lot of dive searches, but never have I seen the water actually lowered in a body of water in order to find a body. For those of you just joining us, the body of an 11-year-old girl, Audrii Cunningham, has been found. Joining me in All-Star panel to make sense of what we know now, including a man that predicted the defendant would attack again after the defendant attacked him. Did he go to jail? Hell no. That's why he was out.
And I think that guy had said that he had wished he shot and killed Stephen.
To murder Audrii. Yeah. That victim joining us. But first, to Bob Price joining us, Associate Editor, Senior News Contributor. You can find him at Breitbart.com. Bob, thank you for being with us. Tell me about the discovery of this child.
Well, Nancy, thank you for having me on to discuss this horrific situation. So Sheriff Lyons announced yesterday that they had recovered the body of this 11-year-old innocent little girl just an absolutely tragic event. Yesterday on your show, you discussed that the sheriff had taken Mr. Mcdougal around various places he had been that day. One of the places that he took the sheriff's department to was that bridge where they found Audrey's body near one of the bridge pillars underneath the bridge.
Stop right there, Bob Price. Number one, you think I believe one thing that POC says, technical legal term, piece of crap. One thing he says, he's going to twist this every way he can to his benefit. Hey, Bob Price, when he was driving the police around, did he say, oh yeah, that's where I put her body?
So what the sheriff explained is that he just took them to places that he said he had been that day, kind of accounting for your time, so to speak.
Bob, is it true this guy backed into a tree and left an identifying mark from his bumper on the tree when he was disposing of an 11-year-old girl's body? I think that's how they figured it out. They find the backpack, they see that mark on a tree, and they know.
Well, this is the place where the body was found is about 5 miles down the river from where the backpack was found. But yes, he reportedly did strike a tree with his Suburban, and they were able to match both what I've been told, tire tracks and his bumper marks to that location where the backpack was found. And then the body was found lower down the river, and the current's moving very swiftly there. This is just below the Lake Livingston Dam, and the water is high in the lake right now. And so they've been releasing a lot of water. The current's been flowing rapidly, and that's why they were able to lower the level of the lake, as you mentioned, of the river, in order to slow the currents down enough that the divers could get in to where they suspected her body would be. And sure enough, they found it there. I asked Sheriff Lyons yesterday if there was any evidence that the body had been weighted down or in any other way rigged to where it would stay underwater, and he declined to answer that comment. He did not say no, which I would think he would say no if that wasn't the case, but he declined to answer that.
Can I ask you something, Bob Price? What is so unique about his bumper? Does he have a hitch on it? That they could identify the mark on the tree and match it to his bumper.
I'm not sure exactly how they matched that. It could be that there was maybe evidence of the tree on the bumper, something like that.
I'm looking at it right now. There's got to be something unique about that bumper. Maybe there's some paint on the tree that will match up. I mean, you can forensically identify a type of paint from a car and trace it to the year, the model, the make, the works, and then go back to his vehicle and find, if you take the time, forensic evidence of tree residue on the bumper. That said, joining me now, in addition to Bob Price, Associate Editor, Senior News Contributor, Breitbart, longtime friend and colleague.
So we got a little update, not a verdict, but they have a question. I'm going to update the channel to the main channel. Let me just tell you guys here, so you don't miss out. It says, verdict watch update. We're told the jury has a question. We're waiting to get back into the courtroom to see what the question entails. All right, so I'll keep you posted. And again, I'm really curious what the question is, because I don't know, so you think that tells us sometimes, but at the same time with Jennifer Crumley, didn't really tell us much, I guess, kind of. So we'll see. So I'm going to tell them over there, I'm going to keep playing this, but I am listening.
The gold standard. Mark Class is joining me. Mark Class,
all right, guys.
founder of Class Kids Foundation at classkids.org, has devoted his life to finding missing children after his beautiful daughter Polly was kidnapped and murdered. May that perp rot in hell. Mark Class, just so many thoughts colliding in my head right now, because when Bob Price, our investigative reporter, is speaking, he's talking about the currents and the cold water and her body under a bridge. All I can think about is this little girl's body going along with the current, dead, probably face down in that cold, cold water till it lodged under a bridge. An 11-year-old girl, Mark Class, let it rip.
Well, listen, Nancy, before he lowered her body or tossed her body into the river, he exposed this child to the worst possible nightmare that anyone could even envision. I mean, she was taken to this place. She was murdered by this guy. She was most likely sexually assaulted by this guy. And he went on with his day after this. This is a guy that has a criminal history.
Not exactly what I wanted to hear. By the way, guys, they're back in the courtroom. There's no audio. And like I said, I guess this is for the question. So just FYI, if you want to pause or you want to go back there, I'm waiting to see what's up. Natalie, thank you so much for the 50. Holy crap. Hardest working man I know. Thank you for everything you do every day for us. Love you, Mel. Thank you. Love you too. Appreciate that. The question is probably what's... Oh. Natasha on the other chat, you said the question is probably what's for lunch. By the way, I don't have it muted, okay? The courtroom audio is on. They have the audio in the courtroom muted. Not missing out on anything. I am listening to see what they're going to say. That was good. What's for lunch? It is. I think it's lunchtime for them. I think it's lunchtime. As far as this, where the guy was talking about what probably happened to this little girl, I had that thought, and I quickly just dissipated that thought because I just don't even want to think about that. But it wouldn't be crazy to assume maybe he did something. I don't know, the conversations he was having with the mother, trying to get the mother out there alone. I don't know. You want me to put it on both channels? I could put the courtroom for a second here until they're done. Yeah, I'm live on both channels. That's right. Mel, couch looks like the chairs that you see in first class. I never sat in them, but they look comfy. Believe it or not, this couch is all right. The comfort level is not that great. I think it's more of an aesthetic couch. Eventually, if I get a bigger place and I get a separate room for the computer, this is just going to be for the computer room. The couch is it has these nice features and stuff, but it's actually not that comfortable to sleep in. Jamie, thank you so much for the 10 memberships. Amazing. Thank you. I'll keep playing. Let me see what we got. Long crime trials. Long crime trials.
Yes.
Oh no, wrong one. There really is so much going on right now, all at the same time. Okay. So I'll leave this here with the audio on. If they come back, I will can I do this? Let's see.
Somebody that is known to have caused harm, yet he was given access to this child. I don't understand this dynamic at all. I don't understand what the priorities were with this little girl's family, that this guy could even have access to then commit.
That's something that really pissed me off too. I know you can't control everything. You can be the best parent ever if something bad happens. But when I hear about the situation with this girl and the father, I just don't know. I said it multiple times. I don't know how anybody could just leave their kid, even with work or whatever, in the care of this guy, Steven.
The horrendous and dastardly deeds that he did.
It's absolutely obscene.
Hey, who's this speaking?
It is obscene.
That was Bob, sorry.
Hey, Bob. Bob Price, I was just about to go to you. Bob Price, investigative reporter, joining us from Breitbart. Bob, something, and I want to go back to Mark Class on this, but Bob Price, yes, no. Isn't it true that the defendant in this case, Don Stephen Mcdougal, age 42, was spotted at a gas station around 9 a.m., and at that time, he did not have Audrii with him. Is that correct?
Yes, video evidence has proven that to be true, according to what we've heard. It's just absolutely obscene that this man was within 1,000 yards of this little girl at any time. This father, it's very evident. The man is covered with neo-Nazi tattoos, Aryan Brotherhood tattoos.
Second, sidestepping. They muted the audio though, so I don't know if they're going to let us listen. I mean, I don't see what the big deal is to listen to the question. They muted. I'm hoping they let us. I'm also going to have somebody. All right, we'll just keep listening in the meantime. Then they muted the audio, unfortunately. But there's people at the courthouse, so I'm sure we'll be able to get it one way or another. The hell did I just put the Nancy Grace? Where did Nancy go? Oh, that's her right there. Wow, that's trippy. I don't know how this MacBook thing works. Okay.
SS.
A Nazi swastika, for Pete's sake.
Yes, all of these kinds of
And
things.
in pictures, he's doing the 1-2, AB, Aryan Brotherhood. I mean, it's like, does a piano have to fall on your head to know this guy is bad? Stay away from him. And I'm following up, Bob Price. Thank you for confirming that. Mark Class, you said this, and chills, arms and legs. He just went on about his day like nothing had happened. There he is, filling up with gas after he's been driving around and around and around with this girl's body probably in the car to find a place to dump her body. And look, he's a sex offender. He's already pled guilty to trying to have sex, taking the underwear and the PJs off a little girl, getting in bed with her. How did he get access to another little girl?
Nancy, he showed up at a donut shop across from the courthouse, which is a mile from the jail. The next morning. Talk about nonchalant.
Yes! Mark Class, what you said just before Lana jumped in. Guys, Lana Shadwick, high-profile lawyer out of Texas who has made her way out of the courtroom to join us, former Harris County judge and prosecutor at lanashadwick.com, also added, and she's right, Mark Class.
I was muted. They're back. So I'll let you guys listen to this, what the question is, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I guess we're waiting on a question. Let's see what they got. You guys still, you just came back, AT&T outage? Bogues, that's so true. They got a jury question, so we're waiting to hear what the question is, and then we'll jump back on Nancy Grace. Yeah, I don't know when the kids supposedly that they get a notification or something around 1, but he didn't look into it or something till around 5. I forgot what the time was. You're still in SOS mode, ADAS? You got an iPhone? I don't know anything about the Elijah story. Somebody said they emailed it to me. I couldn't find the email, so we're gonna have to at some point take a look at it. It's a missing 3-year-old. They said. But I'm glad I have T-Mobile. Thought I'd never say that. Man, I can't believe people are stuck in SOS mode. SOS mode means the only thing you can do is like call 911. I don't know if you can send text messages, but you can't call anybody. They muted again. I don't know. Are they keeping it private? So nothing, apparently. Or we didn't get to hear it. I'm going to wait for the reporter to tweet out what happened. So in the meantime, we'll listen to Nancy Grace. And then around 12:30, I have somebody coming on the main channel that's going to call in. And then I'd like to change this microphone tonight to something better.
The guy didn't just go for gas. He was propped up at a donut shop. This is after he has disposed of an 11-year-old girl's body in that cold water, Mark Class.
Well, this man has absolutely no value for any life other than his own, or he wouldn't have been able to do that. His conscience would have stopped him. He has no conscience. He's just a killing machine who, for some inexplicable reason, was out and about with an 11-year-old girl. I don't know what anybody was actually expecting the result of this union to be, but my God, my God, if you could only turn back time.
And talk about detached. He goes to a donut shop, which is right across from the courthouse. You can throw a ball and hit the judge's window. I mean, it's down the street from the jail. What kind of narcissist or detached individual is this? You're going to go downtown where the cops are?
Okay, I just violated every rule to be a good trial lawyer. I placed myself in this by thinking of my own children, Mark Class. I really don't know how you even move forward. All I can think about is my girl. I mean, a convicted sex offender who was allowed to plead down his case where he attacked another little girl in her bed. He had access to her home too. Let's think about these similarities. It's like a fingerprint.
ABC's hit crime drama Will complex cases.
Were flagged by the burst you up to.
In addition to this girl's body, this little
He didn't have to register either. I guess because he pled down. I don't know.
11-year-old girl with that big smile. And now he's got to fill up his gas tank and get a donut? Really?
But you said you guys don't hear anything? You should be able to hear. Perry, that might just be you. Because I can see the audio levels on my end. And which audio are you talking about? When I talk or the audio that's playing back? That when we're listening to Nancy? If it's me, it's because I'm on a microphone that's not that great. So I'm going to fix the microphone thing tomorrow. But you should be able to hear Nancy clearly.
Well, I don't know what even to say about something like this, Nancy. I mean, one has to look back at this guy's criminal history and to see how he's been, and his medical history, and to see how he's been diagnosed. I've spent my life trying to keep people like this away from little children. You put out the information, you educate people, you raise awareness, you get laws passed, but still, there are families that are willing to allow something like this, allow a known monster to have access, unfettered access apparently, to their little children. I don't know what anybody expects the outcomes of these kinds of situations to be. It's unbelievable. It's uncivilized. It's nightmarish. It's spawned from the devil himself.
Have you looked at this guy's tattoos? I'm not trashing tattoos. Don't care. You want to ink up your body? Have at it. But when you put swastikas and Aryan Brotherhood tattoos all over your body, you're like a walking billboard. You might as well walk down 3rd.
Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. It was 1921. The guy that I hear talking really loud, is that our guy, the reporter guy? What's his name? Was that him or no? Let me see. Lana Shack, psychologist. No, it's not the guy that I thought it was. Okay. What did I say, 1921?
ABC.
Networking together.
She was to allow something like this, allow a known monster to have access, unfettered access apparently, to their little children. I don't know what anybody expects the outcomes of these kinds of situations to be. It's unbelievable. It's uncivilized. It's not.
ABC's hit crime drama Will Trent returns.
That was
Crimes guarantee that
them in a vehicle,
she probably thinks defend her woman. Brian III
opener, and that
with her.
towards one of their wives.
Swear was assault, injured, assault, unauthorized use of vehicle. That I guarantee you, that was pled down from a theft by receiving stolen property, being a car. 2014
case, yeah.
theft of property, reckless driving, assault for bodily injury, harassment. 2023 resisting arrest. Hold on just a moment. Why am I reading the rap sheet? I have a victim with me right now, Alec Bryan III, who was assaulted by this perv, Don Stephen Mcdougal, in 2010. Alec Bryan III, what happened?
Well, he started working at the place I was at.
Which was where?
We worked in an oil change place in Crosby, Texas.
Yep.
And some friends brought him over to my house, and he got a little belligerent when he was drunk and started making comments and actions towards one of their wives.
Wait. Alec Bryan III? What kind of comment did he make to a woman?
Oh, he was grabbing her and hitting on her like he was trying to do inappropriate things with her.
Have sex with her?
Pretty much, yes, ma'am.
Did he touch any of her private parts, grab her rear end, touch her breast? What was he saying?
He was just talking. I don't know if where he touched her because I wasn't that part of it, but she had come out and said that he was groping her and that he was saying lewd things about her and how he wanted to have sex with her.
I'm sure he didn't say, I want to have sex with you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure he said something along the lines of, I want to F you. I gave up cursing, so sorry about that. Alec Bryan III, and this is in a public place with a group of women and men around?
Yeah, this was at my house.
So Alec, if he would do that in front of grown men and women, grope a woman, what would he do with an 11-year-old little girl all alone in his SUV? Or all alone in her home?
And they can't defend herself.
She couldn't defend herself. And in her mind, this is daddy's friend. You know how hard it is to get child molestation victims to speak out? They don't even understand what's happened to them. And this is daddy's friend. What's she going to do? She probably thinks, well, daddy knows. And
they went on vacations together.
Okay, what? How do you know this? Please tell me what you know, Alec Bryan III.
There is a Facebook page called Justice for Audrii Cunningham, and there are pictures on there of them in a vehicle, Dawn and Audrey and the group of family members going on vacation to Florida.
Back to you getting attacked. So the woman comes out and says, this guy is groping me. Then what happens?
Well, her husband tries to fight him, and I stop him, and we just throw him out of the house.
You darn right. The husband better try to fight him. If David Lynch didn't punch the daylights out of him, if it were me, we'd be looking at a divorce lawyer right now. So the husband goes in. He tries to take a swing at Mcdougal. You break it up, and then what happens?
We basically I just force him out of the house, tell him he's got to go.
Okay.
And, he's being belligerent with me at this time, and I push him out the door, and then a little time goes by, and I hear somebody beating on the door. It's him. He has a knife, and he's stabbing at my door, trying to get back in the house.
Then what happened?
I grab my shotgun, and I open up the front door, and he comes at me with the knife, and I hit him in the face with the barrel of the gun, and get him back out the door, and we call the cops.
He came at you with a knife?
Yes, ma'am.
Then what happened?
Like I said, I hit him in the face with the barrel of the gun and pushed him out and slammed the door and called the cops.
Well, so far you're the only one that has gotten justice with this guy, Don Stephen Mcdougal. And it seems like even the barrel end of a gun didn't teach him a lesson, because here he is with this 11-year-old girl. Dr. Kendall Crowns, help me out, guys, with me, renowned Chief Medical Examiner Terrence.
Mystic Firefly says it's being said that Dad and Grandma are on the run. Lord almighty, they're worried about being Jennifer Crumley. Could be, if it's true, I don't know. I have to check on the Facebook group later to see what's going on the streets.
County. Lecturer, Texas Christian University Medical School, has performed literally thousands of autopsies. Dr. Crowns, thank you for being with us. Please give me some good news, if there is any good news right now. Forensically, did the cold water help us in any way to determine COD, cause of death?
So the cold water will slow down the decompositional process, so it will preserve injuries better. Instead of the injuries being obscured by the body decomposing, they'll be kept intact. So in that manner, it'll aid the investigators with the case because there'll be less decomposition.
Dr. Kendall Crowns, you perform so many autopsies. When you see a child like Audrii laying there on your autopsy table, I don't know, are you like me? Sometimes I don't know whether to cry or be angry or just throw up, just vomit. How do you do it?
There's always an emotional component with children, but you have to always say to yourself, you're here to get the answers. You're here to catch those people that have caused this death, or for that matter, to exonerate people that have been blamed for it. But you're there to get answers, and you can't let your emotions cloud your judgment or make you biased.
Alec Bryan III, who was assaulted by this same guy, Don Steve Mcdougal, now person of interest, suspect in the brutal murder, and I guarantee you the rape of an 11-year-old little girl, defenseless. My guess is alone in the car with this guy who is living in a camper in Daddy's backyard. You are quoted saying that he came back to your house and started stabbing the door and the tires of the cars. He pulled the knife on you and came at you. Most important, you're not surprised to hear he's involved in Audrii's disappearance. Why do you say that?
Not at all, because it was just a couple of years ago I saw it on Facebook where somebody was looking for information on him because he was sending lewd pictures to their little girl.
Dear Lord in heaven, slow it down, EB the third. What did you just say?
Somebody had posted on Facebook about him, a picture of him and his name, saying that he was sending lewd pictures to their daughters.
To their daughters. Mark Klass, does it never end with this guy?
Well, I think that's an important point. I mean, this guy is a habitual criminal. This guy has been doing dastardly, horrible things his entire life. And exactly where does the prosecutor get off thinking that being light on this guy is somehow going to change it and make it better for the next?
GT is asking, who exactly had primary custody of the child? Some say it was the grandmother who lived with the father. I kept hearing a lot of back and forth too. I had heard that it was the grandparents, like the mother or the father. And what I had heard that the mother or the father had custody, but that the kid was allowed to stay with the dad at his place. I don't know. I thought they lived in different places. The mother, the grandma, and the father. I've heard a lot of misconstruing things. And then I heard that the mother, I think her name is Cassidy, and she was on a YouTube page. She did an interview on a YouTube page. I haven't watched it yet. But from what I read on Facebook, she gave kind of conflicting reports, like information according to them. And she kept saying that she didn't lose custody over drugs, that she was like, what'd she say? She said something along the lines of, like she was tricked or something, or put into submission to give over custody. So, I don't know. Okay, so the jury's questions back, and it says, jury has been given the legal definition of mental state recklessly. The prosecution and defense met with the judge at the bench. Those discussions are private, so we don't know what the question was about. It does, however, show that there is some progress in the deliberation room. Update, the judge has provided the question, how does the court define consciously disregarded? Answer, the jury was given the legal definition of the mental state recklessly. You must use the definition provided. You should use your common sense and judgment and consider the ordinary usage of the term within the definition. How does the court define? Is it consciously or concisely? Concisely? What says concisely? Conscientiously? Disregarded? Or consciously? Yes, consciously disregarded. Weird. All right, let me update the other people. I'll keep playing this.
Individual that has to face him. Obviously, this guy has done how many years? Over 20 years of criminal activity, nonstop criminal activity, assault, going after little girls, doing all of these horrible things, yet here he is on the street in a car with a little girl, and who is he? He's daddy's friend. You know what, Nancy? He's daddy's friend until he isn't daddy's friend. He's daddy's friend until he takes her out of the car and starts doing whatever the hell it is that he did to her that made him believe he had to throw her dead body into a river. It's just pure evil. Why is this guy even existing? Why is this guy even on the face of the earth? Certainly, why is this guy in society?
I'm about to go to our shrink, Karen L. Stark, joining us out of New York, renowned TV, radio trauma expert and consultant. But Lana Shadwick, set it up for me. Here is a guy with this long record. You were a prosecutor, you're a judge, now you're a high-profile lawyer in this jurisdiction, Livingston, Texas. You know what? Every time I would get a case, it could be a car theft. It could be a nickel bag. It could be any number of things. And if I saw the defendant had a gun, all I could think about was my fiance, Keith, getting murdered. And I would insist on jail time every time I could get it. Why in the HELL? When this guy crawled into a little girl's bed and wrestled off her pajamas and her underwear, why did he get a cheap plea and walk out free? Walk out free.
I don't know what they do in Brazoria County, but that won't fly in Polk County, in East Texas. I'm just telling you right now.
And another thing, there he is. I have to find out from Alec Bryan III that this guy is sending lewd, which means his penis, that's what that means, pictures to her daughters on Facebook. He's not even trying to hide it, for Pete's sake. That was never prosecuted. I'm just hearing about that the first time right now, Lana.
Well, and not only that, there was a stabbing in August. That he was being held on since, I guess, Friday, with regard to an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. That's a clue. In Texas, that's what we call a clue.
That's what I call a similar transaction.
David Stanley.
Yes. Okay, Karen Stark, I've set it up for you. With me is psychologist Karen Stark at KarenStark.com. That's Karen with a C in case you need her. Karen, number one, who is this guy except, I hope, about to enter death row? But who are these people that kept letting him off over and over and over?
It's impossible to understand how he was able to get away with this. It just doesn't make any sense. He is a psychopath. There's no surprise at all that he was out there and committing these crimes and after young girls, and he's a walking advertisement with those tattoos. He's telling you who he is.
Okay, I know all that. No offense, Karen Stark. I know all that. I can see all that. I'm asking you, what is he psychologically? Who is he, and how has he managed to charm people to let him into their lives?
Nancy, a textbook case of a psychopath. He has no conscience. He could be out there eating a whole meal after he killed her. And yes, you're right. There's no doubt in my mind that he sexually assaulted her, that he probably raped this little 11-year-old, and he does not have a conscience, just like Mark said. So it doesn't mean a thing to him. He could be out there and then do it again and again and again, and it just is shocking. I don't have an answer for why he kept getting off and being allowed to be out there. In addition to which, why was he living on the property? How could somebody not see with the way that he presented himself, that he was a danger to this little girl and should never have been around her.
Bob Price joining me, associate editor, senior news contributor, Breitbart. You can find him at Breitbart.com. Bob Price, again, thank you for being with us. I understand that Audrii's body was lodged on something underneath a bridge. Is that correct?
Yes, yesterday I was down there by the river and I noticed a large number of uniformed tactical police officers in the area. There were boats in the area, probably 30 to 40 people right in that one area where the body was found. And that is unusual based on what the previous day's activity had been at those locations. So clearly sometime Sunday night, or excuse me, not Sunday night, these days are running together now, Monday night, the EquuSearch people, we believe, discovered using their sonar, discovered that her body was lodged down there. The currents were too strong at that point in time to get her out, and so the police were there to secure that area. Later on Tuesday, they declared it to be a crime scene. As of this morning, we have an update that District Attorney Shelley Sitton has now filed the capital murder charges against Don Stephen Mcdougal. And this is not the only child he was hanging around with in recent months. There's another little girl who's a friend of Audrii's. Audrii went to her birthday party, and Stephen Mcdougal thinks that going to 11-year-old girls' birthday parties is a cool thing to do. And these parents who obviously know who this guy is think it's okay for this neo-Nazi Aryan Nation hate group wearing tattoo. I can't even describe all this stuff. You know, for them to bring this thug, this animal, to their children's birthday party.
You know, I'm thinking back, Lana Shadwick, I want to hear your thoughts on this. I remember when the twins were born, they were very premature. And we have a relative.
I think it's the new day age parenting thing, that the inclusivity thing, people take it to like the next level. So we got to accept, you know, people with sex crimes and all kinds of shit around your kids. I don't know if that's maybe thinking it too far, but I think it's the day and age. I even mentioned it the other day. How they were saying, like, you know, don't judge a book by its cover. So society's literally telling you to ignore your own intuition, your own gut instincts, your own visual, social cues, and to be like, oh, well, you know, we don't want to be mean to the guy or whatever. In this case, I'm really questioning the father. I almost wonder if he's similar to this guy, Don Mcdougal. They were best friends, right? Birds of a feather flock together. I almost wonder if you have similar interests. Some weirdo shit to me. I don't know, because I heard there was another friend allegedly around the father that had some charges against the kid. So part of it, I think it's this thing of like, you're just gonna include everybody, all these weirdo fucks. The guy had all kinds of stuff on him, and maybe that's maybe a little far, but I feel like there is parents like that leave their kids around everybody because, well, we're just accepting everything. There was another thought that I had set in my mind about there's another thought kind of set in my mind. Well, I was kind of even thinking too, the way like society, it's just like, you know, let's say you have like an ailment and you're not feeling good and you're feeling some type of symptom and it's bothering you, and you go to the doctor and everything's fine, there's nothing we can do for you. And so do you just accept it and think, well, I guess it's just me, you know, I'm going to ignore my own body telling me something because this guy's wearing a lab coat. And so he must be an expert. And so I'm just going to listen to this guy and ignore my own body that's telling me something's wrong. Or you can go get a second opinion and go somewhere else. I don't know. I think there's probably more to the story. It's odd for me. I just can't imagine any father, anybody of any kind of decency, that would leave their kid around somebody like this guy, Don Stephen Mcdougal, for extended periods of time. That's just odd to me. That's just weird as shit. He practically gave his kid over in a platter. That from the bits that I know, maybe that could be wrong. Maybe there's other stuff, And then I missed bits and pieces of this. What's this guy going to these parties? I mean, I understand going to a kid's party, you got a kid, you got your own kid, or like maybe it's a family friend type of thing. But the way they made it seem, supposedly they said that this guy had sent pictures to like a kid or something. And it's why it's kind of important to like report these things. Maybe in the moment in time, you just kind of want it to go away. And you don't want to deal with it, you just want to kind of move on. But then sometimes you might be saving a whole bunch of other potential victims in the future. You know, having to take action and report some of these things. It could be other kids. Was Don Stephen Mcdougal even paying to live out in the backyard, or was he living there for free? I don't know any man that's going to give up his daughter like that. That's worth anything. That's just wild to me. The heck? Shit'll make no sense. But I've been trying to be somewhat like, well, let me just wait for more information. Even though it's almost like, well, what more do you need? I'm trying to hear, like, wait for some type of, like, something with the dad or whatever. I don't even know mom's story, too, like I said. And I haven't heard much of her story. And I probably should check out the interview at some point. I haven't watched the interview yet. She was on another YouTube page. I don't even remember what page it was. But like I said, I saw people on Facebook talking about some of the stuff is just kind of like inconsistent. I don't know, man. Yeah, you're right, Aurora. Some people do sell their kids. Look at Adam Montgomery, right? Just look at these other people. There's a major difference because I think some people too conflate the whole nobody's perfect. Bro, this is beyond this nobody's perfect shit. People use this nobody's perfect shit as a blanket to excuse all kinds of shit and negligence. Nobody's perfect. Bro, this is egregious, okay? Just like the Jennifer Crumley thing. It's not like you made a mistake. We all make mistakes, this and that. Nobody, that's why I hate that term. Nobody's perfect. Yeah, that's true, hoax. That's what I want to know. I want to know. I wonder if dad, and again, I don't know what that town is like, Livingston, Texas. I don't know if these people knew his background, mom and dad. The mom and dad relationship is weird too. No communication. I don't know if they knew this guy's background. And also, I don't know if that town, swastikas things or whatever, maybe I don't know if that's normal. Are they all rocking swastikas out there? Is that the culture? Maybe that's the culture in that town. I don't know. If that's the culture in that town with the swastika stuff, then maybe them seeing this guy like this wouldn't be a flag. You know, I don't. Is that a swastika town? I don't know. It could be. Texas is gonna be upset. This is far beyond this like perfection thing. You know, we're talking like ridiculous, bro. You know. All right, let's wrap this up. We got like 10 minutes left of this. And then there's some updates I think we're going to talk about on the other channel, the Montgomery thing. And also, Prime Curious is going to call in too in a little bit. Because I want to hear some of her thoughts and why the verdict is taking as much as it's taking.
He's perfectly nice, but he smokes. I wouldn't even let him come in and visit the twins because he smoked. And I didn't want, nicotine can trigger sudden infant death syndrome.
I didn't know that. What do you guys think, too, about people that smoke around kids? I remember growing up, I could keep talking, but I remember growing up, my stepdad, when I was growing up, he'd be smoking all the time. And sometimes we'd be in the car, and he's just smoking and smoking and smoking. And I hated that smell, but I was a kid, so I didn't say shit. You know, my mother didn't say anything either. I would say some shit now. I mean, if I'm in the car with my daughter, and I don't know, somebody that with the smoking, they're gonna have to put that cigarette out, or you're gonna have to take that shit outside. But and all that secondhand smoke, I remember that vividly. I still remember that to this day. Still talk about that. The cigarette in the car. I didn't like that,
and it hurt me to do it. I love him, but he couldn't come in. So how in the hell do you let a Nazi Aryan brother around your children?
Well, there's two theories to that. Not taking up for him or anything like that, but there's a social media video post of an individual who's had altercations with Mcdougal, and she said he's charming, he works you wouldn't believe anything, and then boom. And she was in the car with him. He took a cell phone away from her.
Whoa, wait. Drinking from the fire hydrant. First, Alec Bryan III tells me about this guy coming at him with a knife. Nothing happened. He walked right out of jail. Then I find out he's trying to send, we believe, penis shots to little girls. What happened with the woman in the car? Why did he take away her cell phone?
I do not know. She knew she was in trouble, but I don't believe charges were filed. I don't believe she went to the authorities, but she's talking now.
Why would he take away her cell phone? That's not good.
So you can't use it to call for help.
Okay, just having a hard time taking all of this in. I want to talk about also the brilliance of how they lowered the water in this entire body of water to reach the child.
I didn't know that. Raven said you could be pulled over in Florida for smoking in the vehicle with a minor. I didn't know that. That's very interesting. Somebody said they wanted to call about the cigarette thing. We're going to be switching over to the main channel, and I'm going to take a call from Crime Curious, but after I'm done talking with her, if you want, you can call in after her and you want to share your story. You can do that. We need to watch the whole ad for you to give credit. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure no. I heard some people sitting there for like 5 minutes. No, I don't remember the time. I don't know if it's like 30 seconds or more, something like that. But some ads aren't even that long. Some ads are like 15 seconds. But you don't have to sit there for minutes and minutes and minutes. I have to look it up and see. I don't remember how that stuff works particularly. And I need to be careful too. I don't think I can really like tell people just watch ads just to watch ads. Or I forgot what it was, but all right. So yeah, we're gonna do the teleport. Let me see how much of this is left. 7 minutes.
Others don't.
Now,
Big thank you by your dreams. Find your found him. Chris McDonough. I've done a lot of water searches and diving myself, but I've never seen an entire body of water lowered, the water level lowered to get to the victim. Yeah. Tell me how it's done, because you have.
That was a great investigative move by law enforcement in this case, by working with the Trinity River Authority engineers. And basically, as we're aware, there's a reservoir above. And so what they do is they close what they're called lock gates, which controls the flow of water downstream, because everybody knows water goes in one particular direction. And that in of itself then, opened up an opportunity for the search forensic diving teams to, maybe they got dogs on boats where sometimes you can get the scent.
And remember, everybody, dogs can smell your scent, your clothes, a dead body, you name it, even in water. Go ahead, Chris.
Yes, ma'am. And so whenever you have a body dump into water, there are a lot of considerations from an investigative aspect have to be taking place almost immediately. The first one question I want to know is, was she alive when she went into the water?
Oh, dear Lord in heaven. Why did you make me think about that? I haven't even considered that.
Yeah.
To Dr. Kendall Krause, let's follow up on what Chris McDonough just said. Crown's Chief Medical Examiner, Tarrant County, this jurisdiction, Texas. Dr. Kendall Krause, in a nutshell, no Latin phrases, no medical terms. How do you determine if this child was alive when she was put in the water?
So usually when an individual drowns, there will be changes in the body that you can find, which include fluid on the lungs called pulmonary edema. They will often swallow a lot of water into their stomach, so you'll look for that. Those two are the main criteria for looking for a drowning.
You're saying, Dr. Kendall Krause, to tell somebody drowned alive, they were put in the water alive, you'd find pulmonary edema. I thought that was water around the heart.
Water around the heart would be in the pericardial sac, which is the sac surrounding the heart. So you wouldn't see any water in the heart. You'd see water in the lungs.
Water or fluid? You mean lake water? Lake water.
Lake water.
Okay, just question. Why did you say she'd have pulmonary edema? A, what is that? Two, when you could have so easily said she'd have lake water in her lungs.
Well, because if you're alive and you're thrown into the water when you're alive, you'll be gasping and inhaling the water. So you would pull that into your lungs and into your stomach, or into your airways and into your stomach. You would find that in the autopsy.
How do you examine the lungs to determine there's water? And how do you, 2 and 2 still equals 4. How do you determine that water was from the lake? Or do you really even have to?
So you can do with the autopsy, the lungs will be heavy and full of fluid. And then on histology or microscopic examination, you can look for debris from the lake water in the airways.
Yes, debris from the lake water. How do you get the water and any debris therein out of the lungs in order to analyze it?
Well, you wouldn't get it out. You would actually take sections of the lung at autopsy that then would be processed and turned into microscopic sections to look at under the microscope. And that debris would still be there because it would be entrapped in the airways.
Bob Price joining me, investigative reporter, associate editor, senior news contributor, Breitbart. Bob, I know that there was a recreational lake. Is she found in the lake, or is she found in the river that feeds into and out of the lake?
So Lake Livingston is the second largest lake in Texas, and she was found below the dam in the Trinity River. The lake is a contributing waterway to the Trinity River, about 5 miles downstream from where the dam is and from where the backpack was found. So it's still unclear at this time if she entered the water or was placed in the water near.
All right, so we're going to move over to the other channel, back to the main channel. Oh, Hot Mess said, I hate that I like Nancy. That was pretty funny. I know some people can't stand her. That's why you're doing it again, Kimel. I think she's funny. I met her in person. I thought she was really nice. Jamie, thank you for the 10. Says, I didn't already have ADD. If I didn't already have ADD, all this bouncing around this morning would have given it to me by now. I love you, Mel. Thank you, Jamie. And thank you for the gifts again. Thank you for gifting 10 memberships. Amazing. Oh. All right, let's jump over to the other channel, main channel. Let's join the folks back.